Hello friends and welcome. Well, would anyone else agree that two of the hardest things about moving are finding doctors and a hairstylist? Well, I'm in the midst of doing that right now, and as you can tell, I'm not quite sure how this last styling is going to turn out. So we'll see at the end of this video if I can accomplish anything with this hair. But let's get on to today's topic, and that's about summer. And when you hear the word summer, what thoughts automatically spring to mind? You know, for some of us, it might be longer days or picnics, barbecues, ice cream. And for others, it might be driving with the windows down and enjoying summer festivals. Well, when the summer heat sets in, we certainly switch up our wardrobes. Banished to another part of our closet, or maybe even another closet altogether, are those cozy knits and the turtlenecks and layered looks that we all have. And we can't ignore the fact that our makeup routine needs a seasonal shift as well. Well, probably the last thing we want to do in summer is spend a lot of time on an elaborate makeup routine. So summer is the perfect time to embrace a quick and easy glowy makeup look, which looks especially beautiful on our mature skin. And how we can create that quick, easy, glowy makeup look is exactly what we'll be focusing on today. If this is your first time here visiting, I'm so glad you could stop by and welcome. And for those of you who are back, a big thank you. This is a supportive community for those of us who are older who want to look like the very best version of ourselves. We deserve to feel visible, celebrated, and supported, both for the challenges we've overcome and the wise women we've become. So as a makeup artist whose mission is helping us feel our confident best at this age, I love sharing makeup tips, techniques, and products that help us shine. And we occasionally also talk fashion and health and wellness. So if this mission fits your interests, please do subscribe before you leave today. Now let's focus on those 6 steps to create a quick and easy glowy summer makeup look. Step 1 is to create an easier but still lovely eye look. We can do this by lightening our brows and simplifying our eye makeup in order to create a softer, more natural look. But since many of us do have to deal with those sparser brows and the white and gray brow hairs, but still want our brows to beautifully frame our eyes, a product with built-in fibers like e.l.f.'s Wow Brow is a great summer option. Rather than pulling out my eyebrow stencil, brow powder, and pencil as I usually do, I'm simply going to fill in and define my brows by using this amazing, inexpensive product, which I keep well stocked in my makeup drawer. Most of you are probably already familiar with this product, but for those of you who aren't, e.l.f.'s Wow Brow is a buildable, fiber-infused brow gel that makes our brows look fuller. The built-in hair-like fibers adhere to and enhance our brows so they appear fuller and more filled in. It can be used on its own or as a top coat over other brow products. It comes in 4 colors, neutral brown and dark brown, which I use, taupe, which is the lightest shade, and brunette, which is a red-brown shade. Benefit also makes a really good product like this, but Wow Brow costs $5 compared to the $15 to $26 to $40 cost of Benefit's Gimme Brow, depending on which size, of course, you choose. As always, I'll put links to all the products that I'll be mentioning and talking about and applying today in the description box below. And if you use these links, it's a wonderful way to help this channel, and I thank you so very much if you choose to do so. I'm going to go ahead and fill in my very sparse brows with e.l.f.'s Wow Brow. I usually start with a lighter shade and then add the darker shade once I've filled in my brows a bit. So this is the neutral color. Well, actually it's specifically called neutral brown. And as you can see, I'm just getting a first run through, which even this makes a big difference. And I could probably just leave it at this, but I do like to go a little bit darker. First, I want to brush these brow hairs up. They don't like to cooperate. They like to lie down and stay sparse. And this brow, for some reason, and I don't know if you find this to be the case, that your brows are so different, but this brow has a lot more white and gray brow hairs in it than the other one. But the other brow has this long, black, wiry brow hair. It's just bizarre. And now I'm going in with the deeper color. A little hole in this brow that doesn't have hair, which is really kind of strange. But then our brows do get stranger as we get older, don't they? Never quite know what to expect every morning. I don't know if any of you ever saw a program called the Kaminsky Method. It starred Michael Douglas and Alan Arkin, but there was one great line I absolutely loved in the show. They're in the car driving together, and Michael Douglas has picked Alan Arkin up in the morning. And Alan Arkin says to Michael Douglas, you know, in the morning I always ask myself, what's not going to be working today? I think we can all identify with some of that. I also add a slight bit of Maybelline's Brow Fast Sculpt Gel to make sure that those gray and white brow hairs are covered. Now for our eyes. I've already applied Makeup by Mario's Master Eye Prep and Set Primer to cover up the veins that show through my lid and the discoloration on my eyelids. I love this product because it creates an even color across my eyelids, just as paint primer does when we paint the walls in our house. The two eye products I'm going to use today will not only simplify my eye look, but will also make my eye makeup routine much quicker and easier. I'll be using a powder bronzer from Benefit and an eyeshadow stick from ColourPop. The bronzer I'll be using is Benefit's cult classic Hula Bronzer, and the eyeshadow stick is ColourPop Shadow Stick in the shade Juicy Gossip, which is a beautifully shimmery pink. A powder bronzer is so easy to just sweep across the crease area, and that sweep of product provides just enough definition to highlight our eyes. So I'm using my Sigma E25, which is my absolute favorite crease brush. And I'm just going to swipe on a little bit more and then bring it slightly up higher. Have any of you noticed more and more pop-ups popping up on your computer screen? I know there's a way to stop that from happening, but some pop-ups I do want to see, so it's kind of a conundrum. Now I'm going to make this one a little bit deeper so they match. Powder bronzers can be used for so many things. They come in so handy. And this very creamy shadow stick really glides on easily across the eyelids, and it's a lovely, soft, shimmery pink. And I really like how creamy these are. I do have some e.l.f. shadow sticks, and they're the no budge variety, which are great because they stay put, but because they're supposed to be more long lasting, they're not quite as creamy as these are. And I'm just going to blend it in a little bit here with my finger. ColourPop also makes a lavender shadow stick, which I'm really tempted to get. And they have many other colors as well, and they're just gorgeous. Now, if you prefer peach or coral tones on your eyelids, ColourPop has a beautiful eyeshadow stick shade called Friday Feels, and Feels is F-E-E-L-S, which would definitely be in your wheelhouse. When we get to blush, I'll be adding one other quick component to this eye look, but for now, I'm just going to head off camera to quickly apply eyeshadow as my eyeliner and mascara, and I'll be right back. Now, obviously, you can use any color on your eyelids for your eyeshadow, or even not use eyeshadow, but I like using a lighter color and one that's shimmery, which goes along with the whole glowy concept of a summer look. Now we'll turn our attention to the rest of our face for step 3 and create the focal point of this summer makeup look, which is a gorgeous glow. We just created some glow on the eyes with the pink shimmery eyeshadow, but now it's time to really amp up that glow on the rest of our face. One thing I want to make sure to mention is that in order to create a beautiful glow with our makeup products, it's very important to use the right type of moisturizer under our face products. And by the right type of product, I mean one that is not too heavy and thick. Because if we use a heavy or thick moisturizer, the products we apply on top of it will literally absorb into the moisturizer, which will prevent us from creating that lovely glow that we want to create. So let's talk about the best ways we can go about creating that glow. There are 3 ways to create a beautiful glow using face primer. We can apply a glowy face primer first and then even out our skin tone with a tinted moisturizer, a foundation, or concealer. Or we can mix a glowy primer with our foundation, or we can apply the glowy primer over our foundation. And of course, another option is to simply use a glowy foundation to begin with. But in the summer, using a face primer is an especially good idea since it does help our makeup last longer in the heat of summer. And of course, a setting spray at the end of a summer makeup routine is also a really good idea. Before I apply the face primer I'm going to use today, let me share with you my very favorite glowy primers, which are both drugstore and high-end. First, from the drugstore, are L'Oreal's Lumi Glotion, which comes in 5 shades: fair, light, medium, deep, and rich, and Flower Beauty's Supernova Celestial Skin Elixir. And by the way, if you happen to notice a difference in the lighting, it's nothing to do with your computer or phone screen. It has to do with my studio. I completely forgot to turn on one of the lights. Did you ever have one of those days? I think this is one of them. But getting back to our topic, my other favorites are from NIRA Stockholm, which is their face oil, and the Westman Atelier Liquid Super Illuminator Drops, which come in pink, peach, and bronze. And the product that I'm going to use today, which is Keir Weiss's primer called the Beautiful Primer. But let me show you the other ones that I mentioned. This is my NIRA Stockholm face oil, which I love to use. And this is the Westman Atelier Glow Drops, and I have them in a beautiful pink color. And I hate to have any go to waste, so I'm just going to put a little bit on my cheeks. As you can see, it creates a really instant glow. This is so pretty. But I'm going to be using my primer from Keir Weiss, and I'm going to mix it in with my Kosas foundation. And as you can see, this Keir Weiss product, this primer is a little bit thicker than the other one from Westman Atelier that I just shared with you. And by the way, if you hear any pounding in the background, my husband is putting up some of our artwork, which has been in boxes since we moved in November, and we're really enjoying having some of it up again on our walls. They're old favorites, which we like seeing again. And the reason it didn't get up earlier, as some of you know, we painted our house on the inside, almost every bit of it, including cabinets and doors and you name it. So we didn't obviously want to put anything up on the walls until that all got done, which luckily it's now completed. And I'm just going to press this in. And I think the glow is pretty apparent. The Kosas foundation has a really natural finish, so any glow you've seen is definitely coming from the Keir Weiss primer. And what I love about it is it's not overpowering. Your face doesn't look greasy or oily. It just looks really alive. At least that's how I like to think of it. I'm going to finish my face by adding my under eye corrector and concealer off camera, and then I'll be right back. I use the Becca corrector, which is brightening under my eyes, along with the Kosas concealer, which is also a more brightening concealer. And then on the age spots and on the rest of my face, I use the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. I've filmed over 260 YouTube videos, and I have never created this type of sun-kissed glow look with any bronzer in any of my videos. So this will be a real departure from my usual makeup look and will be really fun to do. I always apply contour rather than bronzer, and the contour goes under my cheekbones, along my jawline, and across the upper part of my forehead. But to create a true sun-kissed look, I'm going to apply my bronzer and blush very differently. Since I burn and I don't tan at all, I'll create a lightly bronzed look today, which is a better fit for me. But if your skin does get darker during the summer, you'll most likely want to create a stronger bronze look than I'm going to be doing today. What's most important in creating a beautiful bronze look is to have the right bronzer color and the right bronzer placement. Many bronzers can look too orangey or yellow, as we all know, but rather than an orangey or yellow tone, what we really want is a true light bronze tone, which has slightly more red in it. A bronzer that truly fits this description is a cream bronzer from the clean beauty brand RMS Beauty. It's their Buriti bronzer. Let me show you a swatch of it so you can get a good look at the color. And here's what this color looks like. This bronzer doesn't highlight texture, and it can be built up, and it also creates a slightly luminous glow rather than a shimmery look. And by the way, if you have oily skin and cream products don't work as well for you, you might want to try the powder bronzer from RMS, which is called their Redimension Hydra Bronzer. Well, now that we have the right color bronzer, we need to talk about the bronzer placement, which is also extremely important. We don't want to put this bronzer over our entire face or in the places that we usually contour. Rather, we want to put it in the areas of our face where the sun naturally hits. So we want to place the bronzer horizontally across our cheeks, on the bridge of the nose, and on the forehead. And I'm going to use a stippling brush to stamp the bronzer on so I don't disturb any of the foundation underneath it. Now this will be a little bit of a challenge because unfortunately I only have the Buriti bronzer in a compact that has other products in it. So it's a very small source of the bronzer, but hopefully it will work. These are the two compacts I have with the Buriti bronzer in it. I think what I'm going to have to do is take it out with my finger and then put it on the back of my hand and then pick it up from there with my stippling brush. So I'm going to go horizontally just across the cheeks, and it's not showing up. Okay, let me use my finger. I'm just going to go across this way. And you don't want to go any lower than your nose because this is the part of your face that stands out, which is where the sun's going to hit. And just add a little bit more. This is just a beautiful light color. And as you can see, I am building it up a bit. Now I'm going to put it across the bridge of my nose, a little bit there, and then on my forehead. As you can see, it blends in pretty easily, so I don't even think I need to go around it with my foundation brush. But just in case, if I'm not picking it up, I'm sure I'll see later when I edit that I should have done this, so let's go ahead and do this. This is definitely a different look for me, that's for sure. As with the bronzer, the blush formula and placement is also extremely important. We want to pick a blush that's glowy or mix a glowy highlighter in with our blush. And to help our blush last longer, it can help to layer a couple of different blushes. I'm going to go ahead and start off with Makeup by Mario's Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil in the shade Perfect Pink, which is a lovely cool pink cream formula. And here's what a swatch looks like. Now, if you have a neutral or warm skin undertone, you might want to check out this blush in the shade Just Peachy, which is a really lovely peachy coral. And as to placement, this blush application should go under the eye and across the cheeks, but not on the cheekbones, but definitely, again, not lower than the nose. So this is my cheekbone here, which goes up. So I'm just going to go across. Now this has a little bit of luminosity to it, but not really a lot of glow. So I'm going to remedy that by using another blush to layer on a little bit of glow. Now earlier I mentioned that when we got to blush, we'd also come back to our eye makeup. So here's what I'm going to do with this blush in the eye area. I'm going to apply just a very small amount of this blush above the crease of both eyes. Now by using this color on the cheeks and in the eye area, we're creating a more pleasing cohesive look since it ties our makeup together. So I'm taking just a little bit of this and I'm putting it above the crease. And I think you can see it, but it's just really soft. It's not like you're going to look at this area and think bright pink. At least I hope not. Now over the Makeup by Mario blush on my cheeks, I'm going to layer a product which I love, but which I rarely hear talked about at all. It's Tarte's Blush Tape Liquid Blush, which has a beautiful glowy formula. It comes in 6 shades: peach, coral, pink, berry, rose, and cherry. I have the pink shade, which I'll go ahead and stipple onto my cheeks. And unfortunately, it comes in a squeeze tip applicator, which, as most of you know, I'm not a huge fan of, but it's worth it with this product to use. And I'm actually just going to dot it on, and again, I'm going across my cheeks. Isn't that just a gorgeous glow? I love it. And this is so easy to blend in that it's one of those blushes that you really don't need to use a brush or a sponge. And again, I'm just going to bring a little bit up here. In fact, I got a little carried away, so I'm going to put a little bit more foundation back here and get rid of the blush that went a little bit too low. And then I always have to remember to turn this applicator to off so more blush doesn't squeeze out. One other thing that I can't get over with these kind of applicators is that you have so much left over on the sponge tip, and sometimes that goes to waste, although I try to use it the next time I use the product. It's just, to me, it's just another one of the drawbacks of this type of applicator. But do any of you feel the way I do about these applicators? If you want to really make sure your blush doesn't disappear, patting on just a light application of a powder blush over the cream blush can really help. Now I like using the RMS Redimension Hydra Powder Blush because it has the long wear time of a powder, but it also has the hydration of a cream. And it's also important that it has a slight luminizing effect as well and creates a smooth flush of color. The color I'll be using is French Rose. This is such a gorgeous shade. Taking just a small amount on this fan brush and going across. Now for you neutral and warm skin undertone friends out there, you can find this blush in a beautiful sunlit coral shade called Mai Tai. Another really good powder blush product for layering is makeup artist Patrick Ta's cream and powder blush duos. He now has 14 different shades in his blush line, so there are many beautiful options. And if you might feel that just a little more glowy highlight would be a good addition to your look, I highly recommend Tarte's Glow Tape Highlighter, which comes in 5 shades: Pearl Glow, Rose Glow, Golden Glow, Amber Glow, and Bronze Glow. Now, I'm all about glow, as you know, so I'm going to apply just a small amount of Tarte's Glow Tape Highlighter in the shade Pearl Glow. And it's the same type of tube applicator, just a tiny bit right on top. And again, this spreads really easily with the fingers. And I actually didn't even have to turn this on because there's enough left over on the tip from my last application that I can use that. That's always the safest way to use a product like this. And also I don't have to worry about turning it off that way. Other great glowy highlighters include the Magic Luminizer from RMS Beauty, which I have here, Merit's Day Glow Highlighting Balm, Rare Beauty's Positive Light Liquid Luminizers, and the highlighter that I mentioned earlier, L'Oreal's Lumi Glotion. And now for our final step 6, lips. I'm first going to apply a frosted lipstick shade from Wet n Wild called Light Berry Frost, and I also love the shade Retro Pink. Let me swatch both of these for you. This is Light Berry Frost and Retro Pink is underneath it. Wet n Wild also has 2 beautiful peach and coral shades, Sunset Peach and Honolulu is Calling. Now, because this is a frost, it already has some glow, but I'm going to put some lip gloss over it just because I love the combination of these colors. This is my favorite lip gloss brand, Lawless, and the color is Presh, which unfortunately is no longer available, but they have many other really wonderful colors. And Lawless also makes a gorgeous shade called Annie, which is a peachy golden nude gloss with a pearl finish. Now, I don't imagine that any of us at this point need any more glow, but if by chance you might, one last quick and easy way to add glow, or which can be used as a glowy touch-up later in the day or night, is Tatcha's Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. I love spraying it onto a dampened makeup sponge and then just gently pressing it onto the areas of my face where I want some more glow. It's gorgeous and it's so easy. Now, how many times do you think I said the word glowy or glow in today's video? I don't think I'm even going to try to count, but I guess it's pretty obvious that I'm passionate about helping us create a glowy look. And that's because it's an especially lovely look on our more mature skin, since most of us have skin that's getting drier and duller as we get older. We're so fortunate that there are some absolutely amazing products out there that can help us look like we have a naturally gorgeous, lit from within summer glow. Thank you so much for giving me the gift of your time today, and I hope you found today's video helpful. And if so, please let YouTube know by clicking that thumbs up icon. And if you have friends or family members who might also enjoy these videos, I'd be very grateful if you'd let them know about this channel. And I hope you'll let me know in the comment section below what some of your top favorite summer makeup products are. Until we see each other again, I wish you good health and happiness, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Take care.